morning, ladies and gentlemen, and we have an exciting episode today. We have Scott Buss, who is the CEO and founder of Advent Jets, and this is different type of luxury and jet company to the normal type. Scott's got an amazing story from going from a mortgage broker to a jet broker, and really an experienced broker. So, Scott, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Happy holidays, Casey. And Happy New Year as well.
Thank you so much. And can you just tell us a little bit in your own words about Advent Jets and kind of what separates them from the rest?
Sure. Great question. Advent Jets, we want to be your door-to-destination experience, meaning instead of just flying and having basic transportation and catering, we want to basically control everything, meaning if you want to go to Abu Dhabi, you want to go to a Formula One race, the Grammys, you need a private villa, private island, chauffeured vehicle, you name it, we can help facilitate with all one call.
Fantastic. I really like that concept because a lot of the times when people using private jets, they're literally booking from airport to airport and then have a different black car service pick them up, and then a different events coordinator coordinating what activities they're doing at the destination. So I really like the fact that it's all together in one place, and you keep that experience very easy for the end user. So that makes a lot of sense. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Let's talk a little bit about you, Scott. You've got a very, very interesting career and very inspiring on many different levels. So when we kind of roll it all back to your university days when you did a bit of marketing and business management, and then you went into real estate, can we just talk about how you went from real estate, a little bit about your career, and then we'll get into the aviation at the end?
Sure. So I'm kind of self-taught, went to college for a very short period of time, as a lot of entrepreneurs these days don't go to the college route. I got into luxury aviation when I moved out to Scottsdale. However, before that, I was in the real estate and mortgage at some capacity for about 20 years. I lived in Denver and I ran Pulte Mortgage for the state of California. I worked for Bank of America in the Midwest. I ran some other smaller banks in the Midwest where I'm from, and always believed when you're dealing with real estate or mortgage, it's usually their most expensive purchase in life. And so I built my Midwest values with the trust and transparency in the real estate and converted that over to any business that I was in.
So a lot of what I'm hearing here is it's really a relationship game.
Correct. I totally agree. It is.
So, and that translates across any industry, as you've shown, from going into mortgages to into the aviation space. Can you just talk a little bit more about what's helped you succeed at building deep, meaningful relationships?
Sure. I'll share a kind of little story. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I grew up. So basically starting my Advent Jets business a couple of years ago, I formed all these amazing relationships through trust and transparency, not doing a lot of marketing, PR, things like that. And so basically I started backwards. I had all these relationships and I'm like, well, I want to learn an industry that I could use my relationships and monetize. So that's how I got into the private aviation. And so going back, I started my business 2 years ago, circling around all the relationships I built around the world, from networking, from going to different traveling, different business opportunities, investments. And so that's kind of how I formed Advent Jets, and kind of did it backwards, where most people will start a business and then they'll spend a lot of money on marketing, PR, which is great. However, if you can do something organic and blue, which obviously it's a lot of hard work, a lot of, no return on investment right away with hours and income, but I feel that's the best way to build relationships. I say these little foundation in business, friendship, life: respect, trust, honesty, and communication. If you don't have that little foundation, you basically, you might as well just not even be in any type of business or relationship.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's you need to have that solid foundation in order to ask for the business, right? Because if you're not solid in yourself and have that level of confidence that, hey, I'm doing this from a place of integrity and I want the best for you, then that comes across really quickly, especially with high net worth people and the people that we're dealing with in our day-to-day. So can you speak to that in terms of the types of people that will be traveling on private jets or having your types of experiences with yachts and
Sure.
how has that changed over the last year or so?
To be honest, it hasn't really changed much, except for you have some, I would say some of the millennials and some of the elderly look into private just because of the COVID and the safety. They don't want to deal with crowds and things like that. And really, it's price affordable, depending on what you all want to do or where you want to go. It's, but what we focus on is, if you just want to fly, we'll help you facilitate. We work with a lot of family offices. We work with a lot of sports agents, wealth advisors. And the reason is to give you an example, for a client of ours, an NBA player, after the bubble this year, he wanted to rent a house. We helped him facilitate rent a house, a vehicle, a very nice high-end vehicle for a week, and a yacht for a couple of days, all into one package. So it varies. It depends on what we like to do. Experiences like Abu Dhabi, the Formula One race, if it's a golf event, no matter the Grammys, when concerts, we can facilitate all that when COVID obviously allows us to do that with some of the relationships we have. You dream it, we'll make it a reality.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about that, because that's a really big differentiating factor that you have that a lot of other jet brokers don't really offer, or they use third parties. How do you go about creating those relationships, let's just say with the Formula One team, and being able to create this amazing experience for your clients? But in order to do that, you've got to network and make that relationship with the actual vendor of the event, so the creator of the event. So how do you go about doing that?
So that's a great question. So I have a relationship with somebody over in Monaco already that's been doing the Formula One races for years. So we have a very good relationship. She entertains a lot of the corporates and individuals. They also manage, they were going to do Austin, Texas this year, which obviously got canceled, and then Mexico. So I just built that relationship, granola, through the years, just like any others. Somebody wants to go to the Super Bowl or the Kentucky Derby. I have a partner of mine that's done these events for over 20 plus years. There's a lot of event companies, but he does, I'm not saying he's best, he's better, but he started the trend, if you want to say. So like the Kentucky Derby's biggest party is the Phillies and Stallion party. He runs that party. Super Bowl last year in Miami, he hosted the Rolling Stone party. So he's obviously got the big brands and stuff. So you name it, all-star with any sports, concerts, spas around the world, we can facilitate.
So if we're trying to give some actionable advice to the people listening on how they would go about creating relationships just generally with high-end people that would offer them value or their clients value, can we talk through some of the steps that you've taken to one, find these people, and two, then create a meaningful relationship with them?
Sure. It takes time like anything else. My powerful tool that I used many years ago that people are starting to use more now is LinkedIn. I built a lot of solid relationships, and obviously everyone wants to try to sell, but I don't approach with sale. I approach with getting to build a rapport, getting to know them. There can be a mutual beneficial relationship. It doesn't always have to be income. It can be return on investment in other ways, because you just don't know who knows who. So it's not, with me, it's not about the income, because when you love what you do, it's a career, not a job. And going back to LinkedIn's a very powerful. For instance, I'm probably one of the only private jet brokers in North America that has the Hyatt as an affiliate relationship, that has Avis worldwide. These are relationships that I've built where most brokers do 1 or 2 flights a month and they're happy. I wanted to scale, and obviously we're scaling where we do much more. And so building relationships is, I go back to the Midwest. I hate to say that, but trust and transparency. Maybe it's the Boy Scout in me when I was young. It's just raised by a single mom. I think when you're in the sales or you're in some type of business relationship, I think people have a good intuitions, kind of like when you date, women and guys, they just have that intuition. Same thing with high net worth. Even though they have money, assume that they want a good deal as well. because you got to present options. Even though they have money, they're no different than me and you. They just succeeded in a different level. And so you just have to adapt, because just like athletes, a lot of them, it's a trust thing. Who they, some of these basketball players, football players, they all hang around like-minded people. And I just say, just build a relationship, build rapport, get to know them. It's not about my business all the time. It's about getting them. How can I help you? How can I facilitate? Bring value.
So, okay, so bringing value is a great way to kind of differentiate yourself, specifically on LinkedIn, where literally you're getting tens of emails every single day trying to sell you. So come across differently to the masses pretty much, and add value, build relationship. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I wish more people would actually do that, rather than, hey, are you looking for digital marketing services or this, that, and the other? And it's like, yeah, that resonates. So
and I appreciate that. I actually have a system down that I have some templates made up, and I'll tweak it and stuff like that. But it's not a sales. I don't just lead in the hard sales like the car sales or insurance. Nothing against those companies. I just believe in building rapport is more important these days. Relationships.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about how you build a team around you, because obviously this is not just a one-man show. You've got a very strong team that helps coordinate with multiple clients and vendors all at the same time. So can you talk a little bit about how you went from literally being a one-man show when you were doing the mortgages to now it's bigger than just you as an individual, but you have a team around you? How have you developed that, your core principles and nature, and transpose that into your team?
Hiring people and wanting people to be involved with your business that are like-minded, that you can trust with integrity. As you know, dealing with high net worth individuals or affluent people, there's got to be a trust and a privacy factor there. And so it takes a lot of time to vet certain individuals, but you just feel it, and you know the right people, and that's just how I grew it. I just like my business. It just comes natural for me. Things come different for other people, just like learning. Some people learn visual, some people learn audio. So I was fortunate enough all my life to surround myself with some good people. And so when I knew I wanted to grow, I hired, actually just recently for my COO position, I hired a former military Black woman. Very, very great relationship. So, and I say that with kindness, because I come from a single mom, so I love working with powerful women. So I'm all about opportunity for anybody. So to go back to your question, I believe in like who does your job better than you? Nobody. But who can do your job like you? There's people out there, so surround yourself. So that's how I kind of created my team around the world.
Yeah, and I think that's a key point to make, because a lot of entrepreneurs out there are juggling so many different things themselves, and they have to be the one that does it because they do it the best. But what they don't often get is all of those tasks that you can't even get to. It's better to have them 80% done by somebody than still on your to-do list gathering dust.
Correct. So, it's a team, and I have that philosophy. Like, if I'm working on a different project besides Advent Jets and it's a different investment or a different opportunity, well, let's all win together who's involved, because it's not about the money with me. Because if you get 2 or 3 people involved and you all are financially rewarded, that's what do you care versus having nothing? So I just say greed's out there. Don't get me wrong, but I think I've had clients call me and talk really bad to me on the phone and say, I don't need a passport. I don't need this, and F you, and F, you know what? If you're not going to respect how we do our business, you don't need us. We don't need you as a client. I don't care if you have a black card or not. It's just my integrity means more.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's really important to stay true to yourself and your core values and beliefs. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me as well. So thanks for sharing that. Where do you see the future of aviation going?
Well, that's a great question. I hate to say this, but no point intending. It's going to take off. Literally, it's going to take off. We've seen it grow already. But like I said earlier, you're getting different people inquiring about flying, or if it's an empty aircraft, or maybe if it's one from Miami to a spa day in Tampa for the day, whatever. I think that realistically more people are going to be flying in the near future versus dealing with commercial. Commercial, don't get me wrong, I still fly commercial once in a while, but once you fly private and you don't have to deal with security and you can go there, or customs, depends on where you're traveling to. I just feel it's a more experience, and business people can conduct business, families can have families, you can bring dogs, so nothing's out of the ordinary for flying. I just think it's really point back, it's going to take off, continue to stay strong.
Amazing, I love it. Scott, I like to end with this one question just to kind of get a little bit of insight from inside your mind. If you had to split your success between 3 different factors, those 3 factors being drive, skill, and luck, how would you apportion that?
I would say skill, obviously. Luck, I would say, would be last. And then I apologize, the second one, that
Drive.
I would say my drive, skill, and then luck. Sure, you got to have some luck, but you know what? People buy emotion. So it is what it is. I don't look at it as luck I look at it as I have the drive.
Awesome, great. Thank you for sharing that. So what's the best way for people to reach out to you, Scott, if they wanted to learn more about Advent Jets or build a relationship with you?
Sure, they can reach us at adventjets.com for our internet. They can call toll free at 833-444-9494. You can email us at info@adventjets.com. We have a Facebook page, Advent Jets. We're on LinkedIn, Advent Jets. We're on Instagram at Advent Jet, not the S, Advent Jet. We got just over 20,000 followers. And then we also have a Twitter at Advent Jets. So any social media, send us an email. You can contact us too. We got call to actions on the website. If somebody's looking to be an affiliate partner or a trip or want any questions, we're here to help any way we can.
Awesome, great. And we'll put the links below, so you don't have to scribble that down. You can just click the link and make life easy for you. So Scott, thank you so much for sharing with us. It's been fantastic.
We appreciate your time, and thank you, Casey, for the opportunity to share my story.
Welcome. All right.